For over 40 years, FSU basketball and football fans knew one voice carrying across the airwaves. With over 1,300 basketball games, 529 college football games, and over 2,000 infamous touchdown Florida State calls, Gene Deckerhoff is one of the most renowned broadcasters in college sports.
I became a Seminole thanks to Bo and WTRL Radio in Bradenton, and then had a chance to move to Tallahassee and become the voice of Florida State basketball in '74, then the voice of Florida State football in '79.
He was a huge fan, not only as the voice of the Seminoles, but he was a super fan.
Despite graduating from the University of Florida, Deckerhoff loyally bleeds garnet and gold. By 1974, Deckerhoff quickly established himself as a prominent figure in Seminole sports history.
I went to Florida for 2 years, and I'm not a Gator.
There are perfect places for people, and Gene's perfect place is here at Florida State.
I grew up in Tallahassee, a diehard Florida State fan, and I just always remember, like, that's the voice. That's the guy. Anything that has to do with FSU and you want somebody to represent the Noles, it was always Gene Deckerhoff.
Now let's watch the monitors and see the Seminole men in action right here at the Civic Center.
Growing up in Florida, Deckerhoff played basketball and baseball, making him the perfect voice for FSU hoops. However, he did not fully learn football until the late 70s when a job with Bobby Bowden opened up.
I learned the sport of football through people like Bobby Bowden, Jimbo Fisher, and the analysts that I've worked with over the years.
When it comes to working relationships, Deckerhoff's fondest memories lie with the taping of the Bobby Bowden Show through the 80s and 90s. Gene and Bobby Bowden further established their relationship professionally and personally.
It was a TV show that allowed me to spend a lot more time with the legendary head coach of Florida State University. Those trips, the conversations that we had, not just about football, but about life in general, about family. I was very close to Coach Bowden.
Bobby Bowden put Florida State on the map. You can't pull any punches. He's the one that did it. But there's a big supporting cast for athletics. Head coach, assistant coaches, and there's people behind the scenes.
People think of Bobby Bowden and Gene Deckerhoff when they think of Florida State. Those are the first two names that come to mind.
Gene Deckerhoff's undeniable authenticity and warmth is not only found in his voice, but it is a trait that he carries outside the booth.
I learned a lot from Gene Deckerhoff, especially on how to be a play-by-play broadcaster. And to me, what always stood out is the way that he treated people.
He is someone that has been a mentor to so many from a broadcasting perspective. He's been a guy that's been just unbelievable to me as a person and welcoming me in, and with all that, it's meant a lot.
Someone that reaches that level, you don't have to give people the time of day, but he always did, and 40 years into it, 50 years into it that he's doing it, he's the same Gene Deckerhoff that I think he's always been.
Being the longtime voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff won't take all the credit for his reputable journey in Tallahassee. He accredits the magic of Florida State sports to the FSU community itself.
I think it's that spear on the helmet, it's the garnet and gold, the environment, and the fans. The fans make Florida State University sports so exciting.
You think of this university and the great schools that are here and different areas of expertise that Florida State University brings to the table. It truly is a one-of-a-kind place and destination.
A jam-packed O'Campbell Stadium, a packed Donald Tucker Center. I mean, you can feel it, the hair on your arms and your back and the chill bumps. I mean, it's an experience. And if you haven't experienced it, go to a game and cheer on the Noles and get the war chant going, because it's all part of being Florida State University.
Now stepping out of the booth and into retirement, Gene Deckerhoff's captivating energy, upstanding character, and legacy as a Seminole Hall of Famer will continue to shine despite being off the air.
You got to put the work in. You got to put the time in. Everyone sees Gene and hears Gene with his calls and his moments, and they see him at events and around town, but people don't see the work that Gene puts in behind the scenes.
The ability to make you feel like you were there without actually being there, that's special. And His voice is just so powerful. It hits in the heart and buries deep into your soul. So that's the voice of Florida State and will always be that way.
It's caught! It's caught! Touchdown FSU! Touchdown Noles! Florida State's going to win the national championship.
I'm Haley Seibert reporting.